So we're specifically hearing that the Indiana Pacers are creating trade offers around Buddy Hield packages, and we'll include in this video some of the reporting we had earlier on some potential trades of Buddy Hield, but this video will mainly be talking about what a Buddy Hield trade package could be. And that makes sense. That's the guy, because so we know that Jarris Walker is somebody that they do not want to trade. They do not want to trade Jarris Walker, which makes sense. But in the right package, they would include him. And I think the same thing goes for Benedict Mathurin, we're hearing, as those are the two young players that could be traded, but they do, unless it's like a dream, I think probably like Pascal Siakam or something, they don't want to do that in an ideal world. So what we're hearing from Mark Stein of the Stein line is that Mr. Buddy Hield is on the block, and the Pacers, league sources say, have been building trade offers around a package of Buddy Hield, who's in the final year of that contract at $18.6 million. And with that being said, I think you look at that, the contract is, they're saying it's Buddy Hield and a future first round pick. And yet it's believed that the Pacers, while undeniably active, are reluctant to part with two of their promising players if they can avoid it, Benedict Mathurin and Jarris Walker, which makes sense. So let's just say it's, you know, Jordan Nwora, which is like $3 million, and Mr. Buddy Hield. You can actually get like $20 million right there. And realistically, players they could go after is like a Terry Rozier type. They could go after Andrew Wiggins if they wanted. I wouldn't really do that. Anthony Simons, I don't think they need a guard like that. Cam Johnson and Kyle Kuzma would be really cool, but I think it would cost them too much. And if they wait maybe till the summer next deadline, it would be cheaper to get those players. Malcolm Brogdon, I don't think they need a guard. Again, I said that earlier. But the idea of maybe bringing in DeAndre Hunter. But do you want to give up a future first round pick for DeAndre Hunter? That's where it gets tough. Bojan Bogdanovic and Keldon Johnson are two guys that they definitely could be able to trade for right there with that type of money. And this is where it gets tough. I mean, like Bogdan would be another great guy. You look at the players available, and none of them are going to put you over the edge. And I think Jeremy Grant's a little bit of an overpay in terms of how much you'd have to pay him contract-wise. I think assets-wise, you could probably get him Jordan Nwora and Jalen Smith and Buddy Hield in a first-round pick. But do you think, are you willing to stomach paying him $27 million? I know the salary cap's going up, but that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that one. That one's definitely interesting, to say the least. Career averages of 30 minutes a night, 16 points, 43.4% from the field, 40% from three, 4.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists a game. What do you get with Buddy Hield? You get the 6'5" natural-born firepower sniper. Literally one of the most reliable three-point shooters in the league. Will not ever be shook. His confidence is always there. He can finish in transition. He can, put the rock on the floor and be a secondary playmaker. He's not the best at getting his own shot, but he's an Iron Man, barely misses games, and the only problem with him is he's a liability on defense. But a team that needs three-point shooting, okay, like if you look at team stats, the NBA team three-point percentage, I want to say the worst teams in the league right now are, let's see, worst three-point shooting teams in the league currently. San Antonio Spurs could use a Buddy Hield. Detroit Pistons, Utah Jazz, Los Angeles Lakers, Washington Wizards, Portland Trailblazers, Cleveland Cavaliers, Chicago Bulls, Atlanta Hawks, Brooklyn Nets. Really, the Hawks and the Nets probably not, but the Bulls could use Buddy Hield, and they could give up like Ayo DeSumo and Pat Will, and they probably could get him, in my opinion. Cleveland would love him, okay, and they would. That one's a little tougher, a little harder to get, but Utah, they have the pieces to do it. The Pistons have the pieces. The Spurs, those are all teams that I think could easily eat that deal. What are your guys' thoughts? The Pacers, who are active in the trade market, are doing everything that they can not to trade Jarris Walker, and from what I've heard and what I've read is most teams that are engaging or having exploratory talks with the Pacers, as the Pacers are deemed as buyers. They are asking for Jarris Walker, and that Jarris Walker is kind of like the best trade chip that the Pacers have, as Tyrese is hurt now, so Andrew Nembhard and TJ McConnell probably not. They like Benedict Mathurin, and there's other players out there, but as who could be available, Buddy Hield and Jarris Walker are the two guys that, and they don't want to move Buddy Hield, but again, what we're hearing from Evan Sittery is confirming what our thoughts are, that the Pacers are very determined to not include Jarris Walker in any trade. This is also coming from Wojnarowski, as Indiana is very high on Jarris Walker's long-term potential. He's been compared to like a Paul Millsap kind of player with more athleticism, and other teams around the league are very interested in him. In a potential Pascal Siakam trade, the Pacers would more than likely have to give up Walker, and that has been a key sticking point in negotiations. However, I do think if we look at the current situation of the NBA, I want to know your guys' thoughts. What would be the belief that the Pacers should go for a big fish? Right now, what we do know is players that could potentially be traded are guys such as it's because I don't think they're going for a power forward, and I think Kyle Kuzma is going to be too expensive in terms of assets. The Wizards are going to ask too much. You could probably get Pascal Siakam for cheaper than what Kyle Kuzma, or equal value, and for the Pacers, I think they want to make an upgrade and get a third guy in there next to Turner and Tyrese, but I don't think they need to try to get too far ahead of themselves. I think they're a good young playoff team, that their ceiling is a second round. And if they jump the gun here, they're going to maybe give up too many assets, and they could foxhole their potential. And I don't want them to do that. So for me, I think it's in their best interest maybe to get the bargain market, and if they don't find any good deals, maybe wait for the off season and don't force anything, because I think it'd be better, it's in their best interest to maybe play this out in terms of seeing who could get cheap right now, like Kevin Huerter. And yeah, that's where I'm at. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, and the rest of the video is going to be my